Hello students, welcome to the fourth installment of the warm cool painting. We're going to be blocking in the colors and the values for the warm side of my painting. So here's the photo and the still life painting that I made from it. So let's go ahead and get started. We've already done the drawing, so we're just starting to kind of block stuff in. I'm using a kind of cooler, a little bit more blue infused purple, and that's what I'm trying to put into the skull, and then I'm going to take that over and block in the bat. So you can see the bat in the bottom left corner next to my easel, and I'm going to just kind of block in the blacks with a dark purple. So this is probably the coolest object in my whole painting. So I'm trying to keep it on the bluer side, even though this is my warm painting, so I have a little bit of alizarin inside of it, but not completely inside of every part of it. So I'll block this in. This is pretty much the same as the other ones. Once I see that, I'm looking at the inside of the mouth, and the inside has a warmer color. So I'm going to put more alizarin into it and make it a little bit lighter. And just kind of block that in, and then it comes to the very front part of the mouth, and there's a little bit of light catching inside the mouth there, so that value will get lighter, a little bit of white. So then I've got that kind of blocked away. I think I move over and start painting on the let's see, mixing up some color. Oh, it's the bright red. I thought it was. So I'm going to paint the bright red of the Black Label can, and I'm making it very bright. This is almost pure alizarin with just a little bit of white in it, and we'll block in those values first, and then start to add some of the parts where the labels are going to be, mixing up a lighter version of this. And it looks like it's time to maybe start doing the middle tones on the skull. So I'm kind of blocking those in with a slightly lighter version of this, making it a little bit lighter than the darker shadows. And then I'm going to keep starting to build some whites and some lights into that. Overall, I want to be careful not to get too dark on the skull. It is a white object, but it does need to get some different values and slowly get a little bit darker. Looking at the top of the can here, going through, painting that, blocking in the different, like the opening, some of the tones there, trying to get the roundness. You know, a certain type of a purple mixed with white is going to look very gray compared to the bright red. So that's what I'm kind of looking for and trying to add there. Looks like we're going to go to adding some of the lighter areas of the skull. And what I think I end up doing is, yes, it's a little pinkish, so I might go and put those in, but then I'm going to turn around and start to build some white paint into that to brighten it back up. So I'm almost kind of overdoing it with the warmth, and then going to kind of pull it back, you know, knowing that that's probably a little too dark and it's probably a little too warm. So I'll start to get some light in there and kind of pull that back towards a more neutral color and a lighter value. Before that, I'm going to go and block in the ground plane. So before, on the left side of my warm cool painting, I infused the white with a little bit of blue to paint that in. This time I'm going to infuse it with a little bit of alizarin so that it just has a warmer kind of, you know, I'm shifting away from the cool side. I want the warm painting, even though this is not a color that is super saturated and bright like the can is. it's going to be just a subtle kind of pinkish warm white. So that's the idea, is to just kind of shift it. Same value as the other color, but we're going to shift it towards the warm side instead of the cool side. Put that same color on the eyes, get it inside the mouth of the bat, put it on the little bat teeth, put it on the label on top of the can, finding some highlights. And here I go, I'm going to start trying to carve some of the light back out by adding this white onto the skull, making it brighter. Finding those angles that kind of face up towards the light where I can kind of add just a little more brightness. And, if something looks wrong, I can fix it. I can make it cooler if I have to. I can lighten it up if I have to. The beauty of this painting is you really just have to ask yourself, is it warmer or is it cooler? Do I lean more towards the blue? Do I lean more towards the red? And then, besides that, is it lighter or is it darker? Do I need to get brighter and add white? Or do I need to get darker and add my darks or my dark mixture? So it's not a lot of things to juggle at the same time. And hopefully that's going to help you to go through and see the differences, decide what it is you need to do as you progress. In our next painting, I'll probably do a little bit of details, kind of changing some of the values. I think I'm going to do the block ends here. But I think at this point I've talked about just about everything I need to. So I'm going to I'm going to stop talking. So here is the final painting, the cool one on the left, the warm one on the right, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back for details.